Just over 9 months ago, my wife, life partner, inspiration and friend, Elmira, died. Since that time, every single day for me begins with prayer and ends with prayer. And one of the prayers is simple. I say, please God, help me to get through another day. And at the end of each day, I say, thank you, God, for helping me get through another day. This morning, I was clearing up this little place that I'm in Gödöllő. I moved here very recently, full-time, and so there's chaos, or there has been chaos everywhere, as I try and compress so much of a long life with Elmira together into this much smaller space. And everything seems to be full of memories. And as I was clearing up this morning, these 3 words came to my mind: harbour your resources. 3 simple words, really. And I was thinking, how do I harbour my resources? What does that mean? How am I going to do that? So I stopped clearing things up and decided that from now on, I will start shooting my small, very contained life here in the cottage in Gödöllő. It's towards the end of March now, so things are just coming into bud. The ravages of the winter are nearly over, and there is a feeling of new life. I don't want to turn my back on the old life I had with Elmira, but I have to learn some new things. I have to learn to harbour my resources. It rained a lot in the night, and it's a really cold morning, windy. I'm pretty breathless because this is now the 3rd month of a chest infection, but I'm starting to improve. But however wheezy I am and whatever the weather, I come to check out my little estate. This is a cherry tree that my British family got me for my 70th birthday. Elmira was expecting a huge tree to be delivered by tractor, and we'd have to dig an enormous hole for it. Instead, a delivery guy turned up with a metre-long twig. We laughed about it long afterwards. But 3 years later, Sherry the cherry tree is doing fine. A beautiful morning to wake up to. It's gorgeous to walk in the garden in the morning dew. Here's something that's been occupying me for a few days: buying a mini washing machine and fitting it, then painting the cupboard and making everything come together. It's Sunday, and I coulda, shoulda, woulda been running in the half marathon in Budapest. But I'm still not recovered enough for that. Elmira used to say, I don't know why you bother getting these weeds out. You could just let them all grow. It's never going to be a lawn tennis court. And she's right, of course. So I've just got back from doing a 10k. I'm trying to get ready for a 20k run in just 8 days' time, and at the moment I'm kind of thinking this is not possible because I'm just not fit enough or well enough to do that. I set out in the cold, it was pretty chilly, and now it's rather warm and sunny.
The many lizards that I share the garden with are in their spring, dull colours at the moment, but by summer they'll be bright green, blue and gold. Beautiful. And the squirrels are ever present, ever entertaining, even though they come and steal the walnuts from the walnut tree. And in the case of this particular squirrel, all the birdseed from the feeder. It's the beginning of May, and for the first time in the year, out comes the lawnmower, which I'll push around for up to 6 hours as I trim down the meadow. I'm starting to believe that I might be able to do the upcoming half marathon on Sunday. So I'm getting my running kit ready on a beautiful sunny day. And last night I did something quite important for me. I slept in the newly finished guest room for the first time ever, testing it out. 20 years of Hungary being in the European Union, celebrated by a 20k run by a lot of people. So it's now about 20 minutes since I finished the 20k run, and I did pretty well. I'm pretty happy with things. I think it went fine, and I was really not knowing whether it would all work out or not, but it did. Good. After the run, I went over to the family house in Pest and had lunch with everyone. And then I came back to the cottage, listened to the radio, and by the time night came down, I felt pretty good. It's now 5:20 in the morning, and it's another beautiful day. So I thought I'd get some shots of the sun coming up. It seems to be snowing with all the acacia blossom falling down. The ground is covered with it. While I tackle the cellar back room, it's a cold, wet morning, but it's delicious for all the plants and the vegetation. Then, after a long day of rain, the rain clouds melt away and it turns into a beautiful, tranquil evening.
Next Saturday will be the anniversary of Elmira's death, and I can already feel so much building up inside of me about that. It seems like so long ago, and yet also so recent. And so much has happened, and so much happened before that, in the years before that. My soul understands all of this, and my heart and my mind just can make no sense of it at all.
Yesterday was the first anniversary of Elmira's death. I was up at 4 in the morning so that I could commemorate her at 4:30, which was the time that she died. And then I fasted for the day and was very quiet and kept reminding myself not to work, just to pay attention to staying quiet. In the afternoon, Larianne came over and we spent time just being together, talking about her mum and our memories of her. It was a day that's been casting a long shadow, but we got through it.
About 2 months ago, I had the idea that today would be a birthday party for Elmira and for Agoston. We had many birthday parties for both of them in the past, and I felt we should carry on that tradition here at Gödöllő. So the weather has been beautiful. We've had all of the family here, including Dee and David, Agoston and Lorian's dad and his wife. So we've been all together for the day, and I think everyone enjoyed the peace, the comfort, the quiet, and Lawrence's magnificent curry, which was really delicious. Amazingly, Zsuzsa came here because she can barely get around the house, but she dared to come. Well done, Zsuzsa. This is my second visit of the year to England. The first time was back in February, and then I felt really lost, being even further away from Elmira because I wasn't in Hungary. This time I can do better because I have some strategies about how I can retire from the throng if I need some quiet. And for sure, there is a throng. This is the 50th birthday party of my daughter, our daughter Rohana. All the core family are here across 3 generations, and although most of the time it rains and rains, we do manage to get out into the grounds of this little place called Loudwater Farm where we're all staying, and we have some great fun. And when we're inside, there's dancing, singing, yoga, and lots of eating and laughter.
It's 3.5 days since I returned home. Today it's 37 degrees here, and I'm really being a bit silly, but I just felt I had to do a bit of sweating and a bit of work by digging this space, which is where I park the car. So I'm flattening it out. My other thing since coming back is that I've found the files that I thought I'd lost for tracks that were recorded 50 years ago, and it's recoverable, amazingly. It was really hot this morning, 37 degrees, and then come this afternoon, an enormous rainstorm with huge hailstones coming down. And there was a crack of thunder and lightning that I saw happen just behind me here as it hit a tree. And the temperatures dropped by, I guess, 15 degrees or more. Wonderful. Phew, it's drier and warmer inside. I woke up this morning, it was about 4:30. There were dogs yapping. I think there was a wild boar crashing around in the undergrowth that woke them all up. I got up and came out to see the sunrise, and as is often the case, I look around and wonder, what is this planet, this amazing planet that we're on, that I'm on?
It's the last day of July, and I should have been documenting the process of making this Olympic-sized swimming pool. For a few days I've been shoveling away at the soil to level this part of the garden. And then this morning Zolly came over, and together we put up the structure for the pool, and now it's filling with water.
I've had a good summer in many ways, with lots of kind, loving visitors. I had Lottie and Isaac and the boys out from England. Rohana and the girls made a sudden surprise visit. And Henny, Agoston, Liara, Lawrence and Lorian have all been frequent visitors. So people have been very helpful and very kind to me during this time, and I really appreciate that. Now I feel the need to settle back down into my own groove, get on with some of the projects that I wish to do in the house, with this video, with writing and many other things. I'm coming back into my own, and that's fine. And I'm very happy also to have had such a good summer with so many good people. Thank you to all of you. Thank you. As a bit of an interlude, I realised that you may not know anything about the place I live in, the cottage in Gödöllő, about 25 kilometres from Budapest. Back in about 2007, Elmira and I visited her old friend and now my old friend Zoltan, just down the lane here. He lives at the edge of this huge, beautiful forest, and I said, this is the kind of place I've always dreamed of living in. And Zolly said, oh well, you'll see dozens of places that are up for sale. So we walked up the lane past one place that was for sale and went, yeah, maybe. Next we came to the corner of two little dirt roads, took a glimpse through the gate and went, this looks magical. A few days later we got access and saw around the place and said, yeah, this is just perfect. Even though at the time it was done out as an old hunting lodge, everything was painted brown and there were antlers on the walls and a dirt floor downstairs. So sometimes people say, have you done much with this place? And I go, no, not really. And then I realise, gosh, yes, for years and years I've been working on the buildings and on the land. Many times, Elmira would just burst into tears on arrival from Budapest because she felt so happy to be here, so comfortable, so safe. If this seems like a long way from the seclusion of the garden in Gödöllő, it's because I'm here in St. Peter's, Rome, and humanity swirls all around. I'm here to see the two opening performances of Blood and Breath, new opera by my friends the Foes. The second night of the performances of Blood and Breath, in fact the world premiere, was spiritual and very moving. At the end I walked out in a kind of trance into St. Peter's Square, and there were people circling, saying prayers, holding candles. And that really is the full moon shining over the Vatican. An amazing night, what with one thing and another. Today I turned 74, and that's old by any measure. I'm in the last quarter of my life now. Today's also significant to me because 17 years ago it was the day that Elmira and I became officially married in England. However, for us, our real marriage was before that, when at 7:07 on the 7th day of the 7th month of the 7th year of the new millennium, we stood high above Lake Balaton near the old monastery in beautiful sunshine, and we made vows to each other about our future together and how we would hope to live and support each other for the rest of our lives. And I believe we did that. And now I'm sitting contemplating what I have to do ahead of me. The immediate future is simple. I'm going to clear the garden of leaves, I'm going to continue winterizing the house and getting ready for the cold spell that's coming very rapidly my way. In the bigger picture, I want to continue exploring what it means to harbour my resources. So I feel that there's some challenging times ahead, but some good times ahead. Yeah. something different. The intensity of the light coming into the bedroom, the silence outside. Yep, winter is now undoubtedly here. As well as reveling in the beauty of the snowfall, I get going on relieving the burden on some of the plants and trees. I've had quite large branches snap off in previous winters. And then, after the first snow of the season, comes the first melt, with the birds out searching for whatever food they can find. I do my bit to help them. It's a time when the weather seems to have gone crazy, with a total of 5 quite big snowfalls within just 1 month. It's beautiful, but there are a couple of times when the snow and ice is too much to get the car up the dirt road, and I'm effectively snowed in, missing my brother-in-law Bonar's birthday party in Budapest on one occasion. There are huge high winds, dark clouds, storms, and atomic sunsets. And some days when it looks and feels like spring, with clear blue skies and everything appearing to be in early bud. Then the hinge of the year opens, and the winter solstice marks the start of longer, slightly longer days and hopeful, warmer times. Yesterday the latest snow melted, so I was able to drive into Budapest and have Christmas dinner with the family and exchange presents. And today I started the day quietly, and then I met up with Zoltan and we went for a long walk through the forest. We didn't see another single person, but we found lots of mushrooms and picked those mushrooms. Which are these? The same creature?
Same creature, oyster mushroom. I don't know the name of these ones, but there's a bunch of them there, shining in the sunshine.
Part of harbouring my resources was the decision to stop doing the corporate work that I've done for a long time with my friend and colleague Mary. It's a bit of a gulp of a decision to do that, but it seems to me to be the only way to make more space for my own activities. As soon as I'd done that, I got the offer of an extras part in a movie which I auditioned for way back in the summer, and also I was asked and have taken up the offer to write another book on fintech. And I'm hoping that although it's still doing work for other people, it's doing it in a looser form which suits my temperament and suits my needs more.
After the quietest Christmas ever, I launched into a trip to the UK, which involved a lot of train travel, an amazing Sonne Lumiere night walk, along with lots of outdoors activity with grandchildren. Meals, parties, more walks in the cold, plenty of bracing seascapes, the leftovers of Christmas, and yet more walks and general outdoorishness. My final train journey was to Manchester Airport, where I just escaped the snow there, which actually closed the airport down for 24 hours, and I arrived back home in Gödöllő in the very early hours of the morning, and then within 8 hours I was feeling like fluiness and just And it snowed quite a lot, and it's been bloody cold. Today's the first day where I've started to feel, 2025 can restart and it's going to be okay.
I was kind of premature in saying that I'd be up and about soon because it's taken another week to really get out of bed and really get back on my feet. During that time, I've been thinking a lot about my past, my youth, and how when I was young, everything went my way. I had an extraordinary period of years where I was sent to America as part of a youth delegation, where every art competition I entered, I won. And I was the captain of my school team for a TV quiz show, and on and on. And then after school, I went to Africa, a wonderful experience, but I got encephalitic malaria, which really damaged my brain. And it's only in later life that I appreciate how damaged my brain became and how difficult it is to sometimes form thoughts and remember things. Quite a lot of dark thoughts, quite a lot of feelings of almost worthlessness. And part of that reflects on the fact that Elmira's not around, because we encouraged each other so much and we gave each other a sense of worth. Being out in nature really helps. It helps to clean me out. It helps to refocus me, and thank God for nature and for being alive. I'm still happy about that.
Starting in February, I used my new electric mini bike to get to very early morning sessions for the big movie that I'm a small extra in. The mornings are fine but very cold, and after reaching the station, there's then a 45-minute train ride into Budapest, then another 15 minutes of cycling to the studio. And when not being a movie star, I press on with the very long delayed bathroom of the guest house. The original impetus had been to provide a little haven for Elmira when she was no longer able to use the stairs to our bedroom. But then, well, now the project is getting finished, only about 5 years late. It's still cold and bright, and I'm getting my legs back on with runs of 5 to 10k. This to one of my favourite spots, the Trianon Monument Hill overlooking Sada, one of many markers of the loss of 2/3 of Hungary following the First World War. The runes speak of belief and faith. In the midst of quite an active period, on 2 occasions I'm completely sideswiped by massive, what I think of as grief tsunamis. There's no obvious trigger for them, but I'm plunged into hours of howling loss that I struggle to be released from. It will sometimes depart quietly, like when I talk and laugh with others as I'm doing on the movie set, but it will always be inside me, ready to come when it needs to, on its own terms. And if the human hurt feels too much, there is nature. There is always nature.
Today is exactly 1 year since the day that I was clearing up this little house, and suddenly this thought struck me that I should document what I was doing and the year ahead of me. And so it's been. I still don't know the value of this, what it's been for me and what it might be for you. I guess if you've watched this far to the end of this program, then perhaps it has been communicating something to you. I still feel that I'm grieving deeply for Elmira, and I seriously doubt that there will ever be any difference to that. But I honour her, and I try to progress with my own life in the knowledge and the feeling that she's watching over me, that she's still with me. Thank you, Elmira, for everything.